Misses the free throw. 91% free throw shooter. There's Pam Moore, Wes Matthews' mom, who's an All-American in track at Wisconsin. She's in the Hall of Fame there, also a good basketball player. He says she is the reason he's become such a good player.
Well, he's certainly got great genes, but he's got a tremendous work ethic as well, and that's why you end up in the NBA. You don't rely on what mom and dad gave you genetically. You've got to go out there and get in the gym and earn it, and that's exactly what he's done. And he's found a little niche here for himself with a very good basketball team.
Wiggins missing the three. Important 3 minutes for Denver. Got to close out the quarter on a run as Billups is tripped out. And that'll send Billups to the line. Both teams over the limit. And Chauncey Billups a little shaken up. They get Korver with a foul.
Jerry Sloan didn't like that call very much, nor most of the Utah Jazz team. It looked like Chauncey Billups lost his balance prior to any contact being initiated.
Well, Billups has already missed 1 free throw tonight. He's one of the best free throw shooters in the history of the league. Instant offense sometimes, and sometimes missed shots. Comes onto the court, J.R. Smith for Ty Lawson.
Well, he could definitely, he's obviously a streaky shooter, J.R. Smith, but he's the kind of guy in a game like this right now. The momentum's definitely on the side of Utah. They're not really having any sort of rhythm to their offense right now. He's the kind of guy that can get you back in the game in a very short period of time. And I know what Jerry Sloan has made sure his team's going to be aware of that. That's what he's coming in the game to do right now. Try to hit a couple shots here to close out the third and then see if he can heat up in the fourth. He had an 18-point fourth quarter in game 1 that really helped them put that game away against Utah.
Billups now with 20. He and Anthony both have 20. Nobody else in double figures for Denver. Leading score for Utah is Millsap with 18 points, but he hasn't taken a shot here in the quarter. Boozer starting to get it going now. Finally in double figures with 10 points. Matthews has done a pretty good job defending Carmelo Anthony. Anthony 9 of 17 from the field. Here's Smith on Korver. Smith a step back two. Way off. But Martin there. The time is running down the shot clock. And then Anthony picks up a silly foul. That's 4 on Melo. Utah with a 14-point lead on Adrian Dantley and the Nuggets. Late in the third in Salt Lake.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by Ford and Lincoln Mercury Service. Expertise, convenience, and value. And Kingsford Charcoal. Slow down and grill.
For this Corona timeout, Spurs and Mavericks. Under a minute to go. Tony Parker coming off the bench still. George Hill starting, but Tony Parker, boy, what do you think the Mavs owner Mark Cuban thought about that jumper? Parker had 23 points in all. San Antonio goes up 2-1 in the series, Dave.
All right, Jonesy, back here in Utah where things are getting hairy for the Nuggets. Sorry, Lex. They find themselves down 14 late in the third.
There you go. See, that's the Chris Anderson that we love. He's actually got to tone down tonight.
I think the one on the left, it's unintentional. Or the one on the right that you just saw there, definitely trying to mimic the Birdman. And you could use his energy, especially in the defensive end, as they've given up 25 points to Utah here in the third, and the Jazz in their last 37 shots are at 68% from the field. Trying to take a 2-1 series lead. Lakers lead their series with Oklahoma City 2-1. Phoenix routed Portland last night. And how about San Antonio now? I know you picked Dallas to win. Do you still like the Mavs in that series?
Yeah, I picked them in 7 games, and I still think that Dallas has a great chance to win that series, but they certainly have to win game 4. I don't think they're going to win 3 straight against San Antonio if they fall down 3 games to 1. Right now, San Antonio is just locking them down with championship-style defense, and Dallas isn't responding very well to it.
Shot clock. Inside 5 seconds again for Denver. Smith along 2. No. Utah's taking Denver down late in the shot clock a lot here in the quarter.
The problem for Denver is they're taking the ball to the net every time, and they can't get any transition opportunities. They're playing against Utah's half-court defense, which is energized right now. You got to get a stop so you can run, get out in the open floor, get some easy looks.
Williams short, rebound Millsap. Millsap 9 of 9 from the field tonight, all in the first half. His first miss of the game, but Boozer there with the step back over Birdman.
Look at the body language right now in Denver. That ball goes in the net, and Kenyon Martin, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Anderson, all of them just start walking up the court. They've got to get their defeated attitude out of their system right now and understand there's plenty of time in this game, but you've got to start stringing together quality possessions at both ends.
Anthony called for the offensive foul, and that's 5 on Melo. He fouled out in game 2. How about Denver, one of the best offensive teams in the league with more turnovers than field goals here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the one thing that I think this team has struggled with, and not just this year, I think over the last 2 or 3 seasons, is discipline and understanding how to maintain composure when things get a little bit difficult.
I think they try to get it all back at once, and Carmelo Anthony just, it's not that foul that put him on the bench, it's the one he committed in the backcourt on the last foul that just made no sense, and now you end up on the bench with 5 fouls, and he's taken out of the game for probably the first half of the fourth quarter now.
Smith fouled and count the basket. Carmelo Anthony certainly thought there was an offensive foul on Millsap on the other end.
You take a look at Millsap right here. It just lowers his shoulder into Chris Anderson, who gives ground.
Isn't that an offensive foul?
Carmelo Anthony saying, man, I've had this game, he's had 1, he had 4 last game, so big part of his game. I mean, what happens to you as an offensive player when you start getting those offensive fouls called? It just makes you more hesitant and timid. You can't attack the basket the way that you normally would. And you're talking about one of the elite scorers in this league, and now you feel handcuffed. You feel you've got to shoot jump shots because you're worried about picking up those cheap offensive fouls.
Free won't go there for Matthews. Long rebound, Phillips. And his pass intercepted. Matthews with great hustle getting back down court on D.
Right now, Utah is just doing everything better than the Denver Nuggets.
Williams turns it over, but a foul first on Anderson. And then a technical foul on Denver.
Composure, discipline, poise. Right now, none of those things are being exhibited by the Denver Nuggets. And this game has gotten out of control because of it. You got his leading scorer on the bench with 5 fouls. Now you got Chris Anderson picking up a technical foul. They're turning the basketball over in transition.
Tim, we talked about Anderson coming in, maybe giving Denver a spark on defense as Williams goes to the bench. But instead, Utah's extended its lead, and now Anderson picking up the technical foul.
Yeah, it would be nice if he could do that. He's done that numerous times over the last couple of seasons for the Denver Nuggets.
The problem they have when they go with this lineup, when you got a follow out there with Chris Anderson and Kenyon Martin, you're limited offensively in terms of how you can make Utah pay for trapping Chauncey Billups or to loading up on J.R. Smith. Anderson and Kenyon Martin are not guys that are going to give you a lot of offensive production around the basket, so Utah can really just clog the driving lanes and make Chauncey and J.R. Smith play in traffic and make things even more miserable for them when neither one of those guys has a rhythm already.
18-point Utah lead. No Andre Kirilenko, no Mehmet Okur, 2 starters out. Utah 1 quarter and 8 seconds away from going up 2-1 on the Nuggets. 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. Billups fouled by Price. And Billups will go to the line.
Well, Ronnie Price picked up the foul, but I think that was a chance worth taking that time. Chauncey Billups got pretty high with his dribble, and it was right there in front of Ronnie Price, and he just decided to take a chance and reach it. That's very difficult instinctively to not go for that basketball.
20 points for Chauncey Billups, 6 of 7 at the free throw line so far tonight. You can follow the NBA playoffs wherever you are with NBA Game Time Playoff Edition, the official mobile app of the NBA. Log on now to NBA.com/GameTime for up-to-date playoff highlights.